गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारि यमुनतीरावनचारि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा श्रील गुरुदेवा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रपाद की जय हरे कृष्ण माता जी if someone is interested they can do माता जी हरे कृष्णा
माता जी जय राधा माधव डान
yes माता जी chanting you can do माता जी or you can sing any song
ओके ओके माता जी थैंक यू
हरे
माता
कृष्ण
जी
थैंक यू माता जी
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
Hare
हरे
Krishna.
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माता
Sorry,
दी।
Barnali Mataji. Sorry, Barnali Mataji, to interrupt you.
No, no,
Prabhuji has
माता दी।
joined.
Thank you माता दी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Welcome to the ICF forum. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Parmeshwar Gauradas Prabhuji, are you there?
Hare Krishna, Mate. 1 minute.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
It's a last minute effort. Hare Krishna. Okay. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाख्या चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सगगणरघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं राधाकृष्णपादां सगगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति यत्कृपा Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramanandam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namaskar Krishna Preta Padre Srimati Jayapataka Swami Namaha Charpada Nathakapadale Gorakata Damadaya Nagara Kalamtarane. Hare Krishna. So who is going to share the screen?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I can share the screen.
Okay. Kasturi tilakam lalatapatale vakshastale kaustubam nasagre varamotikam kastale vaunokare kankanam sarvange harichantanam sulalitam kante cha muktavali gopastari vitito vijayate gopala chudamani Narayanam namaskritya naranchaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudhirayet. Okay, now we are in the story related to King Vena. As we hear the story of Vena, it is really perturbing the mind because he is a cruel king and he was not at all God conscious. He was completely atheistic and he was a demonic person too. So before getting into the verse number 7, right? My verse is 7 today onwards, right? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Yeah,
Hare
4.
Krishna, yes, Prabhuji, 7 to 11.
Yeah, 7 to 11. So as we see here, Maitreya started explaining to Vidura further on the story of the two sons of Swayambhamanu, that is Uttanapada and the Priyavrata. But Priyavrata's story, as I told you, will come in the 5th canto. So the 4th canto is fully dominated by the Uttanapada further dynasty on that. So as Vidura started inquiring more and more, here one should understand Bhrigu is also there in the meeting. So they are all thinking about the concern of the general public. Because Anga was a top class king, he was a pure devotee of the Lord, and he was perfect in his position as a Kshatriya. Moreover, he was a good devotee. He is called as also a Rajarishi almost. So, as King Anga was not there, the interest of the public has to be protected. And they could not find a ruler. And without ruler, it's always a problem. So then the sages all called Mother Sunita. And with her permission, they installed Vena on the throne as a master of the world. Sunita is the husband of King Anga. So all the ministers, however, disagreed with that. Because we know the nature of this Vena, and he was all creating all the nuisance and cruel also. As he got into the position, everybody got afraid of him. Public were very much perturbed, and there is going to be a chaos in the situation. The situation is like that. The rats and other things start running to take shelter in a small hole to escape from the catch of the snakes. Like that, it is explained. Consequently, the king was more proud and he was having lots of false prestige. He became very blind to his opulence. What is the sloka? Anybody remembers? Janma karma?
Chame divyam evam
No, I said wrongly. Janmaishwarya Shuta Shivihi. So he got the opulence and he became very blind. Kunti Maharani says no. Janmaishwarya Shuta Shivihi. So
Edamana madapaman.
yeah. So this King Vena becoming cruel and he started going all over the place and he started causing trouble to the earth as well as the sky wherever he went. All the twice born were forbidden to perform their rituals, sacrifice. And there was shortage of clarify, buttered everything. All the nuisance started. But one should understand the Kshatriya's first foremost duty as a king is to protect the cows and protect the Brahmanas. But in other words, this fellow, King Vena, stopped all those things, all the religious rituals. So under the situation, now we are into this sloka number 7. Venasya vekshya munayo durvrittasya vicheshtitam vimrshya loka vyasanam kripayo chuhusma satrinaha. I'll read it once again. Venasya vekshya munayo durvrittasya vicheshtitam vimrshya loka vyasanam kripayo chuhusma satrinaha. One of you can read the sloka, somebody can read the synonyms, then translation and purport.
Hare Krishna, Sudha Mataji, you can call out the name.
Hare Krishna, Vasudha Mataji, to read the shloka, Rishabhanu Mataji, the synonyms, Barnali Mataji, the translation, and purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Venasya vikshamunayo durvrittasya vicheshtitam vimrisya lochusma satrinaha.
Mataji, you have missed the other word, no? Vimrshya loka vyasanam.
Vyasanam. Yes, Prabhu. Maybe cut my. Okay, one more time I'll read, Prabhu.
Why was that? Okay. Can you read it again?
I'll read again, Prabhu. Venasya vikshamunayo durvrittasya vicheshtitam vimrisya loka vyasanam kripayochusma sastrinaha. Okay,
Now it's
Prabhu?
clear. Now it's
Thank
clear.
you.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Panchang Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Synonym. Venasya of King Vena awakes you after observing Munayaha, all the great sages, Dhruvattasya of the great robe, Viseshtitam activities, Vimarsya considering, Loka Vyasanam danger to the people in general, Kripaya out of compassion, talked Ma in the past, Satrinaha the performer of sacrifice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Bhagavad Pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, all the great sages assembled together and after observing cruel Venus atrocities, concluded that a great danger and catastrophe was approaching the people of the world. Thus, out of compassion, they began to talk amongst themselves, for they themselves were performers of the sacrifices. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Dhanyavad Pranams.
Hare Krishna. Purport.
Hare Krishna, Sridhar Prabhu, please read the purport.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam, Hare Krishna. Purport. Before King Vena was enthroned, all the great sages were very much anxious to see to the welfare of society. When they saw that King Vena was not irresponsible, cruel, and atrocity, they again began to think of the welfare of the people. It should be understood that sages, saintly person, and devotees are not unconcerned with the people's welfare. ordinary karmis are busy acquiring money for sense gratification, and ordinary jans are socially aloof when they speculate on liberation. But actually, the devotees and sensitive people are always anxious to see how the people can be made happy both materially and spiritually. Therefore, the great sages began to consult one another on how to get out of the dangerous atmosphere created by the King Veena. Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you can read it slowly, huh? No need to hurry up.
Anji.
Very fast you are reading. No problem. Okay. So let us get into the translation first. So up to this sloka number 6, I explained what was the situation. Now, the sages among themselves started talking because they have to take some serious steps now. As we see here in the Shastra text, it's very clearly explained. When the king fails to administer the nation properly, he should be immediately dethroned. But dethroning, there are processes. In olden days, there were different levels of situations, how they handled it. And here, King Vena is becoming a very cruel person, creating trouble to the sky as well as the earth. He acquired all powers, being the king. So automatically, the sages, they assembled together and they observed the cruel activities or atrocities. See, when we say atrocities, activities are something which is helpful to the common man. Atrocities are which is always causing nuisance or danger to the common man. So they are also expecting a catastrophe. Catastrophe means it's going to be a big danger coming across. Calamity, you can say that also, was approaching the people of the world. It is mentioned world, okay? That means the concern of the sages are so important here. Many people, they saying, why sages are getting angry, right? Sometimes we ask the question, they should be sadhu, they should be quiet and all. When there is some misbehavior or there is some adharma starts cropping up, the sages are supposed to handle the situation. They are empowered because they have got the Shakti, austerities and other things. And they have the powers of chanting the mantras too. So as they foresee that, they are also concerned and they are looking for compassion to the common man. And they started among themselves also. What best we can do for the common man? Because if you look at the sages are also well versed in the performing the yajnas and sacrifices too. So in the purport, Prabhupada explains, the king was enthroned, all great sages were very much anxious to see his welfare of the society. But unfortunately, he was not thinking on that lines. He was most irresponsible, cruel, and whatnot. Presently, this is what the status of many of the kings, right? They do not worry about the praja and they do not thinking any welfare activity for them. So it should be understood that the sages and saintly persons and devotees are not unconcerned. That means you have to understand one point here. What is that? Devotees. When we say the word devotee, the devotee should always be like this. How they are like a Vaishnava. Para dukkha dukhi. So this way, here, the devotees also joined along with the sages and saintly persons. And they were worried about the common man. But interestingly, if you look at the karmis, those who follow the Vedas, those who want to achieve benefits after performing yajnas, they are called as karmis, looking for result of their activities and looking for acquiring wealth. But the devotee is not like that. That's one. Second thing, ordinary jnanis. Ordinary jnanis are busy in acquiring the knowledge and they try to speculate and they talk about the liberation and whatnot. But their concern is also not for the common man. But a saintly person or a sage or a devotee always look for the welfare of the common man. So they could not tolerate it, what's happening over. So this is what they are trying to sort out the problem. Before that, they are discussing on that. Therefore, they started consulting each other and how the Vena is creating the situation which is very, very dangerous for all of them. Okay, then next one, 8. Similar situation had happened before also in the Bhagavatam, if you come across, right? One is that the Hiranyaksha and another is the Hiranyakashipu. Both of them created so much of nuisance to the public because they are all asuric, they are all completely demonic and created problem for everybody, right? As we see in the Hiranyakashipu also, he troubled so much of devotees and other things, right? He asked them to call the names of Krishna. Now, call the names of his own. That is forgetting Lord Krishna. So like this, he was talking atheistic things. Similarly, Vena is one among them now. Okay, moving on to that. Shloka number 8. Aho batayaha praptam lokasya vasanam mahat. Vasanam means worries. That's always you remember it, huh? Danger and worries, consequently. Aho batayaha praptam lokasya vasanam mahat. Darun yubhayato dipte. Darun yubhayato dipte. Iva taskara palayoho. Iva taskara palayoho. I will read this sloka. Aho bhayatah praptam lokasya vasanam mahat. Draunyubhayato dipte iva taskara palayoho. One more time, huh? Aho ubhayata, sorry, aho bhayataha. I said the wrongly one earlier. Aho bhayataha praptam lokasya vyasanam mahat. Darun yubhayato dipte iva taskara palayoho. Somebody can read the sloka, synonyms, translation, purport.
Hare Krishna, Krishnamurti Prabhu, you read the shloka. Naimisha Mataji, you can read the translation, synonyms and translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Aho ubhayatah praptam lokasya vyasanam mahato darunya bhayoto dipte iva taskara palayoho. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranams Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Aho, alas, Ubhayata, from both directions, Praptam, received, Lokasya, of the people in general, Vyasanam, danger, Mahat, great, Daruni, along, Ubhayata, from both sides, Deepte, burning, Iva, like, Taskara, from thieves and rogues, Palayo, and from the king. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. 1 minute, 1 minute. You are in which grade? Which standard are you studying?
I am studying 3rd standard, Prabhuji. 4th. Now my 3rd is finished. I am going to 4th.
So you are having holidays or what now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You are using your holidays very nicely. Continue.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When the great sages consulted one another, they saw that the people were in a dangerous position from both directions. When a fire blazes on both ends of a log, the ants in the middle are in a very dangerous situation. Similarly, at that time, the people in general were in a dangerous position due to an irresponsible king on one side and thieves and rogues on the other. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
You are from which part of India?
Mangalore.
Sorry?
Mangalore, Karnataka.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving on to this sloka, what does it explain? When the great sages consulted one another, they saw that the people were in a dangerous position from all directions. See, it's not one direction, from all directions. That means the situation is very precarious. Why it is mentioned all direction means, is there any way to get out of this situation? That is also sealed. So there is no possibility of escaping from the situation. That's why it is mentioned from both the directions. They are giving a very good example. I do not know how many of you have seen this situation in a village. Generally, in villages, they used to have firewood for burning, heating, everything, right? Of late, we are having the gas facility. So in olden days, when you used to have that wooden sticks, firewood, generally there might be termites or ants, right? When the firewood is one side burning, the ants and the termites, they will escape from the other end. I do not know, have you seen it? It's a very interesting thing. Huh? In childhood days, we used to watch it, how they are escaping it. But interestingly, when the fire catches the other end also parallelly, right? That means the two ends of the wood are getting fire or caught fire. What happens in the middle, the ants and the termites will be in a dangerous position. What dangerous position? They have to lose their life. That's the only way out. They cannot escape because ants and other things are only moving, it's not flying. So naturally what happens, the danger is much more. That's what the example given here. When a fire blazes on both sides of a log, the ants in the middle are very dangerous situation, right? The example is so wonderfully given. And what does he say? Similarly, at that time, the people in general were in dangerous position due to an irresponsible king. So the king is also called as Nirupati. Nirupati means for the praja or for the common man, he is the pati, he is the protector. But unfortunately, this king Vena is the other way around. He is troubling them instead of protecting, right? Again, we are going to see some more shlokas wherein he is also going to stop the sacrifice and other things also. That we'll be seeing it later. So similarly, at that time, the people in general were in dangerous position due to an irresponsible king on one side and thieves and rogues on the other side. So why these rogues and thieves have come now? It's very simple. Taskara. Because when the king is not behaving properly and when the king is not ruling the country properly, naturally the bad elements in the country will take positions and take control also. So this is what happening in the present day of democracy or democracy. Prabhupada says what? Democracy. That's why in the democracy, the rulers or administrators are having no powers in full. And interestingly, then even if they have powers, their party people are trying to misuse it. And in the process, there are social, anti-social elements too. That's why whenever there is a procession, there is always a riot. Whenever there is a riot, there is a fire, lathi charges, and that. So many things happen, right? Why? Because the ruler is not strong enough. Recently, we saw in our neighboring country, everybody took to streets and they started burning out so many things, and all the ISKCON devotees were also in trouble. You know that, right? Why? Because there is no proper administrator, and the ruler or whoever it is, he is useless and he is not able to control. So this is what the situation happened with Vena also. He took over and unfortunately he did not know how to rule the kingdom because he was a demonic person. So naturally, the thieves and rogues started taking their position and control. And unfortunately, the people in common were suffering always. One side the king is troubling, other side rogues and thieves are troubling. Where the people will go for protection now? There is no one else, right? So this is a precarious situation as I explained earlier. Now we'll try to understand what happens to the next situation. Shloka number 9. Arajaka. See that Sanskrit word is always there in all languages. In Tamil, we say Arajakam. Huh? Only pronunciation differs. Huh? Here in Sanskrit, it is Arajaka. Arajaka Bhayadesha. Arajaka Bhayadesha. Krito Rajadat Arhanaha. Krito Rajadarhanaha. Tatopyasit bhayam tvadhya katam syate Swasti Dehinam, Swasti Dehinam. Okay. Arajaga Bhayadesha Krito Raja Dadar Khanaha Tatopyas Yasiti Tatopyasiti Bhayam Twadhya Katam Syatwasti Dehinam. One more time. Arajaga Bhayadesha Krito Raja Dadar Khanaha Tatopyasit Bhayam Tadhya Katam Syat Swasti Dehinam. Okay, somebody can read that.
Hare Krishna, Meenakshi Mataji, you can read the shloka. Sharmila Mataji, the synonyms. Padma Mataji, the translation, and Archana Sunil Kumar Mataji, the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Text 9. Arajaka Bhayadyesha Krito Raja Tadar Hanaha Tatopyasa Yasid Bhayam Tvadhya Katam Syat Svasti Dehinam. Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Synonyms. Arajaka, being without a king. Bhayat, out of fear. Eshaha, this Vena. Kritaha, was made. Raja, the king. Atat Arhanaha, though not qualified for it. Tata, from him. Api, also. Asit, there was. Bhayam, danger. Tu, then. Adya, now. Katam, how. Syad, can there be. Swasti, happiness. Dehinam, of the people in general. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thinking to save the state from irregularity, the sages began to consider that it was due to a political crisis that they made Vena king, although he was not qualified. But alas, now the people were being disturbed by the king himself. Under such circumstances, how could the people be happy? Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ma.
In Bhagavad Gita 18:55, it is stated that even in the renounced order, one should not give up sacrifice, charity, and penance. The brahmacharis must perform sacrifices, the grihasthas must give in charity, and those in the renounced order of life, the vanaprasthas and the sannyasis, must practice penance and austerities. These are the procedures by which everyone can be elevated to the spiritual platform. When the sages and saintly persons saw that King Vena had stopped all these functions, they became concerned about the people's progress. Saintly people preach God consciousness or Krishna consciousness because they are anxious to save the general populace from the dangers of animalistic life. There must be a good government to see that the citizens are actually executing their religious rituals, and thieves and rogues must be curbed. When this is done, the people can advance peacefully in spiritual consciousness and make their lives successful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So getting into this, it's a very interesting thing. As we saw the development in the last slokas, this sloka also further describes the development in the situation of King Vena. What does it say now? Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice. Oh, sorry, I have gone to the next sloka. Yeah. 1 minute. Okay, so I am reading that from the Bhagavad Gita 18:5. Okay, yajna dhana tapa karma natyajyam karyameva tat yajyo dhanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. So that is what explained in the purport. So before getting into that, let us go to the translation of the verse number 9. Thinking to save the state from the irregularity, the sages began to consider that it was due to the political crisis that they made Vena king, although he was not qualified. That means there was a situation, there was no ruler, because suddenly Anga, king, left the kingdom or the throne because he took up the Vanaprastha level. He left the state. Because why he left it, you have to understand that. Because already his son Vena has started troubling in so many ways. So a pure devotee of the Lord, King Anga, and he is a good ruler of the state, he could not control his son because he is a bad element in the state. So due to this pains, he left the entire state and went off. Similar situation also happens in the story of the Bhagavata Mahatmya story. How many of you remember the story of Bhagavata Mahatmya? Hare Krishna. Wherein Atmadeva.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prabhuji, वो है ना भूमि देवी और भक्ति.
Not that one. Before that. Not that one. Before that.
Gokarna.
Yeah. Gokarna, correct. That's the story. Okay. Yeah. So I will explain once again. See what happened. Atmadeva was a pure Brahmana, qualified Brahmana too, right? He was a brahmachari. But interestingly, he got the desire to get married. He approached the saint in that place, and the saint suggested and blessed him for a married life. So he got into a married life. Interestingly, with his wife, Dunduli, so beautiful, youthful. But unfortunately, she was not God conscious and she was not willing into the Grahasasrama begetting children, thinking that if I get children, my beauty will go. This was her negative thinking. So the first problem started for Atmadeva after marriage is wife is not good. But still he wanted to have a child. So what did he do? Both of them went to the same saint where they got the blessing before. So the saint said, Atmadeva, you have interested into Grahasasrama, I gave you the sanction. But now, again, you are looking for a child. I have no answer for it. I am giving you that also. So he gave a mango to eat. To whom? Not to for him, for his wife. So Atmadeva was very happy, brought the mango and gave it his wife. But interestingly, Dunduli came to know the saint has given some special mango. Once they eat, they will beget child or children. So she did not want to lose her beauty because she was thinking, if I beget children, my beauty will go. So she did wisely, gave the mango to their cow at home. And interestingly, her friend from the village, another village, came to see her. She was pregnant. So she made arrangements with her. So that friend will give the baby once she beget. And she will, this Dunduli will pretend as if she got the child to Atmadeva. This is the way they are cheating. So again, Atmadeva is in trouble. Problem number one is getting into the Grahasasrama. Problem number two, wife is not good. The third one, she is not willing to beget child. So problem after problem he came. Okay, the cow gave birth to a calf, but the calf have ears similar to that of a. No, sorry, I said wrongly. So the cow gave birth to a human being. It's very rare and interesting. Huh? In olden days, it's all happened. Even if you look at it, no, this Garuda is the son of Kashyapa Muni. We can't believe it. How is it possible? Because if the creation, look at it, no, in the Bhagavatam it is explained, they can produce, the Prajapati can produce even animals and other things also. So this way, the cow produced a boy, and the boy was so beautiful and so charming and elegant, and lots of effulgence too. But ears were looking like a cow. That's why they were naming him as Gokarna. Karna means ears, Go means cow. So like a cow, he had a ears. That's why he has been called as Gokarna. And that Dunduli's friend begat a child. He was a boy. So Atmadeva named the child as Dundukari. So Atmadeva both ways happy because his wife also got a child by name Dundukari, but it is not Dunduli's son. It is her friend's son. Okay. Then their cow also begot a child as effulgent as the sage. and it has ears like a cow. So both the things are going on. He was very happy, celebrating everything. Later on, when the Dundukari becoming growing bigger, he became a nuisance to the whole village, to the parents and everybody. But whereas the Gokarna, such a wonderful devotee, he was always favorable to spiritual activities and he was always favorable to the villagers. But on seeing this, Atmadeva slowly got fed up with his wife because she cheated him. And interestingly, the son became very cruel and he is creating nuisance to the entire villages. But there was a solace because the cow's son, Gokarna, was wonderful. But in any case, Atmadeva got fed up with the Grihastha and he left the Grihastha life. He went into the forest and left his body. Why I told this? The story is connected here. Anga also faced a situation similar to that. So he had to leave the kingdom. So the saints were forced to keep his son Vena as the king. But here the purport is so wonderful. What does it say? Under the circumstances, the sages want the people to remain in happy. So they have to do something about it because the responsibility goes on to the ministers and the sages and the devotees too. So they took up some measures by discussing. So this is what happening here. So in the purport, it's explained in the 18th chapter, 1st shloka, what I was telling right now. 1 minute. Huh? It says, Yagyadana tapakarma natyajyam karma eva tat. Yagyodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. So what the translation here? Acts of sacrifice, charity and penance are not to be given up. What does it say? It should not be given up. Why? Because it is the duty of each and every one. Swadharma. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, penance purify even the great souls. So Krishna says, by performing such things, even great souls are also purified. So this is what it is said under purport. It is stated, renounced should not give up sacrifice. So the brahmacharis must perform sacrifice and performance. Grihastha must give up charity. Right? When the grihastha get into the grihastha life, they should perform everyday sacrifice, what is called as Agnihotri. Similarly, a brahmachari should also perform sacrifice on a daily basis, what is called as Samita Danam. You might have heard about it. Brahmachari means they have to perform Samita Danam. Grihastha means they have to perform Agnihotri. They have to worship Agni. So this is what also Krishna explains. They cannot be given up. They must be performed because it helps the even great souls to progress in life. So this is a very interesting thing. These are procedures by which everyone elevated in the spiritual platform. So as we see here, it helps the even great souls too. When the sages and saintly persons saw that king had stopped all these functions, they became concerned about the people's progress. Naturally, the people will be in trouble. Saintly people preach God conscious, Krishna conscious, because they are anxious to save the general populace from the danger of animalistic life. So here you can call them as devotee because para dukkha dukhi. When the people in general are suffering, the sages, saintly persons and the devotees are very much worried about them. So what they did now, there must be a good government to see the citizens are actually executing their religious rituals. That means the common man also supposed to perform all these religious activities and sacrifices. But nowadays, it's very pitiable situation. The praja or the public in common, they have got no God conscious things because the ruler himself is an atheistic person. And they say Sanatana should be destroyed. So all these cruel people are also there now, right? So the same situation in the case of King Vena. So, and the thieves and rogues must be curbed. They should be stopped from doing anything nonsense. That's why if you see the case of Parikshit Maharaj, when he saw a black person troubling a cow and a bull, immediately he took a sword and tried to kill him. But interestingly, he surrendered and got escaped. Here also, the sages and saintly persons are very much disturbed. They wanted to curb the activities of the thieves and rogues, causing trouble to the common man. So automatically, when these things are done, the common man will live peacefully in spiritual consciousness and live in a successful way. So this is explained in the 9th verse. So moving on to 10th verse. Aheriva payah poshaha. Aheriva payah poshaha. Poshakasyapi anarthavrite. Poshakasyap anarthavrite. Venaha prakrityaiva. Venah prakrityaiva kalaha. Venai prakrityaiva kalaha. Sunita garbha sambhavaha. Sunita garbha sambhavaha. So now we can understand where the problem started, no? Sunita garbha sambhavaha. Right? I'll read the sloka once again. Aheriva payaha poshaha poshakasyap yanartha bhrate vena krityaiva kalaha sunita garbha sambhavaha.
Hare Krishna, Suma Mataji, you read the shloka. Divya Desai Mataji, the synonyms. Anita Mataji, the translation. And I'll read the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Conduct pranams. Aheriva payaha poshaha पोषकस्यापि अनर्थभृत् वेनः प्रकृत्यैव कलह सुनीता गर्भसम्भवः. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, a hair of a snake, eva like payah with milk, poshah the maintaining, poshakasya of the maintainer, api even anartha against the interest, birth becomes venha king, vena prakritya by nature, eva certainly, kalaha mischievous, sunita of sunita, vena's mother, garbha the womb, sambhavah born of. Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat pranams.
Hare Krishna. Here there is a word called kalaha. Hare Krishna. 1 minute. The word kalaha. What does it say? Mischievous. What is the age we are in now?
Krishna, translation by Srila Prabhupada.
1 minute, Mataji, 1 minute. Please wait. Kalaha, what is the meaning given here? Mischievous. Which age we are in now?
Kali Yuga.
Kali Yuga. So Shastra explains Kali Yuga means kalahadari. Kalaha. So you can see all mischievous things, small things also they fight each other. So this is what the situation of the Kali Yuga. The nature of Kali is like that, mischievous and always fighting spirit or always quarrelsome. This is called Kali's nature. Okay, go ahead. Translation. You can read the translation. Yeah.
Sages began to think within themselves, because he was born from the womb of Sunita, King Vena is by nature very mischievous. Supporting this mischievous king is exactly like maintaining a snake with milk. Now he has become a source of all difficulties.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Saintly persons are generally aloof from social activities and the materialistic way of life. King Vena was supported by the saintly persons just to protect the citizens from the hands of rogues and thieves. But after his ascendance to the throne, he became a source of trouble to the sages. Saintly people are especially interested in performing sacrifices and austerities for the advancement of spiritual life. But Vena, instead of being obliged because of the saint's mercy, turned out to be their enemy because he prohibited them from executing their ordinary duties. A serpent who is maintained with milk and bananas simply stores poison in his teeth and awaits the day to bite his master. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So it's a very interesting thing now. Again, I'll tell you, when the kingdom is in the hands of mischievous rulers. This is a situation. Payaha, milk. And what does it eat? A snake can come and touches it. What happens? The entire milk becomes poisonous. Right? So this is what the situation now. The sages began to think within themselves. Within themselves, they started thinking what to do now. Because he was born from the womb of Sunita, King Vena is by nature very mischievous. Now we understood the point? So King Anga and his wife, his name is Sunita. Don't get mixed up with the Suniti. Who is that Suniti?
Dhruva's mother.
Dhruva's mother, Prabhu.
So Uttarapada is one of the wives. Okay. So here it is Sunita. Okay. So by nature he is mischievous. That means he is a Duratma. In Bhagavad Gita, what does he say? Dushkriti no. So this Vena is a Dushkriti fellow. So that's why it's mentioned mischievous. Supporting this mischievous act, the king is exactly like maintaining a snake with milk. So wonderful. So milk and snake, both are there. What will happen? Finish. Right? It will eat away the milk or it will make the milk poisonous. Now he has become a source of all difficulty. So the sages are finding it extremely difficult how to solve the problem. Supporting this mischievous king is exactly. So no one should support the king or this mischievous king. Why? Because he is a nuisance to the society, he is nuisance to the entire nation, and he is nuisance to the entire human race. But unfortunately, in Kali Yuga, the common man or the praja is all full of ignorance, and they do not have any knowledge, and they always select a scoundrel or a rascal, as Prabhupada mentioned. So they try to come and sit in the throne and trouble everybody who are pious. And all the miscreant or the mischievous people, they enjoy, have a good time, because the thieves and rogues are having a good time in the mischievous rulers. So here also, supporting this type of mischievous king is very dangerous. They are giving a wonderful simile, right? Keeping a snake with me. Now he has become a source of all difficulties. The purport is very well explained. Saintly persons are generally aloof from social activities. Very clear. I tell you, Prabhupada's purports are simply wonderful. As I told you at the beginning, right? The saintly persons and sages have nothing to do in the administration part of it. They live peacefully in their own secluded places. Whoever goes for blessings, he bless them to progress in spiritual activities or devotion. But in this situation, King Anga, as he left, the sages and saintly persons had to take the role because there was no ruler. But interestingly, they had one ruler in the dynastic rule because Suniti had a son by name Vena. After consulting her only, they throned this crooked fellow, King Vena. So the people in general will have a tough time now. And the saintly person sages cannot keep quiet. They can't be a simple spectator now. They have to protect the common man, right? So they should take some steps seriously. Come what may. Because though they cannot take weapons or fight in the battlefield, they can take some wonderful steps by dethroning these kings. Those days were like that. This happened in the previous yugas. In Kali Yuga, this is impossible. Some cruel king has come onto the throne. You can see that what is happening in other states. Right? People are telling he's a lunatic. So this is what happening in the King Vena also. As we see here, rogues and thieves are taking lots of looting, another thing, and people are finding it difficult. So after this, King Vena became the ruler. The sources of trouble also started more, even to the sages too. Why? Because he stopped all the sacrifices and the rituals too. So naturally, the saintly person sages have to jump into the fray to stop all this nonsense and give protection to the Prajatu. This is what it is explained here. Saintly persons are especially interested in performing sacrifices and austerities for the advancement of spiritual life. Right? Especially, I tell you one important aspect here. The saintly persons and sages, they perform rituals and sacrifices. Is it for their own benefit? No. It is for the common man welfare. That's why, even if you look at the Varnashrama Dharma, right? In the Varna, the first one is who? In the Varna, what is the first one? Who is the first one?
Brahmana.
Brahmana.
So, Brahmanas have a duty to perform a Nitya Anushtana. What is the Nitya Anushtana? Sandhya Vandanam. They call it as Trisandhya Vandanam. Trisandhya means just before the sunrise one, and at the midday when the sun is just above the head, Madhyanikam, and at the sunset, just before the sunset, Sayam Sandhya. All the time they have to perform this. Why? It is not for the personal interest. It is for the common man's welfare. Similarly, saintly persons and sages are also doing this for the welfare of the common man. But interestingly, Vena is not having any mercy on the common man. So naturally, the saintly persons have to shower mercy, because the king Vena became enemies of the saintly persons, because he stopped them doing any sacrifice. So naturally, the common man were troubled first, and the saintly persons are all troubled later. So the saintly person will not keep quiet like a common man. Common men do not have any powers, but the sages and saintly person, they have got lots of powers. They can do so many things. They can chant mantras, they can do yajnas and dethrone this fellow. So this is what going to happen in the next few verses. So before getting into that next line, turned out to be enemy because he prohibited them from executing the ordinary duties. So next, what is the mention here? A serpent is maintained with the milk and bananas, simply stores poison in his teeth and awaits the day to bite his master. Because it's want to eat the milk and the banana. So naturally the master will be bitten by the snake one day or other. So that's why we never entertain the snake, because it's venomous. One day or other it will bite. Similarly, at home also one should not maintain pet things, cat, whatnot. I don't want to mention. So according to Shastra, we are not supposed to maintain or keep anything as pet except the cows. So Goraksha is permitted for all the four varnas. So everybody can have a cow at home, protect it, and one can easily please Krishna, because Krishna is pleased when cows are protected and the Brahmanas are protected. So in the case of King Vena, there is no such a thing. There is a huge problem now. So the sages and the saintly person, along with the devotee, they are going to take some very serious steps now. I'll tell it in short what will be the next step. So they started chanting the mantras, very powerful mantras. As they started chanting the mantras, slowly, the thieves and burglars, they all left the kingdom. They ran away. Okay. So the first problem solved. The second problem is the king Vena. As they started chanting the mantras are so powerful, the king was pulled down from his throne. And they continued the prayers or chanted the mantras, the king fell down unconscious. So the worst or the most dangerous Vena fell down from the throne unconscious because of the power of the mantras. If the mantras are not recited properly also, it may take the reverse effect also. As we say in the case of, anybody remembers? Where the mantras are just chanted wrongly and something else came.
The
Krishna.
Vitrasur incident. Yeah.
Yeah. Krishna chanted the mantras and somebody chanted the mantra wrongly in the Yajnashala. So instead of a powerful person, a powerful demon came. So in this case, what happened? The King Vena fell down and he became unconscious. Then they started churning the thighs, shoulders, everything of the King Vena. On one side, Pratu, the incarnation of the Lord, he came. And on the shoulder, one interesting female came. What is his name? What is her name? Ruchi. Am I right? I think so, Ruchi. She is none other than incarnation of goddess of Lakshmi. So Krishna or the Narayana and Mahalakshmi both reincarnated as Prithu and his wife Ruchi. Okay. So this way the story goes on. I stop here. In this connection, there is any question, any comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, there's one more shloka, Prabhuji, shloka 11.
Oh, I forgot totally. Okay, no. Okay, we read that. Nurupitaha prajapalaha sa jigamshati vai prajaha. Nirupitaha, it is okay. Nirupitaha prajapalaha sa jigamshati vai prajaha tatapi santvaye mamum tatapi santvaye mamum nashmam tat patakam sprashet. Okay. Nurupitaha prajapalaha sa jigam sati vai prajaha tatapi sant vaye mamum nashmam tat patakam sparshet. Okay, one more time. Nurupitaha prajapalaha sajigam sati vai prajaha tatapi santi vaye mamum nashmam tat patakam sprashet. Somebody can read the sloka?
Hare Krishna. Subhara Prabhuji, you read the shloka. Now Kishori Mataji, the synonyms. Masuda Mataji, the translation. And Archana Mataji, the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nirupita Prajapalaha Sajigam Sati Vai Prajaha Tathapi Satvayo Ye Mamum Nasmam Statpatakam Rushet. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Nice.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Nirupitaha, appointed, Prajapalaha, the king, Saha, he, Jikhamasti, desire to harm. Why? Certainly. Prajaha, the citizens. Tatha api, nevertheless. Santa Vayema, we should pacify. Amum, him. Na, not. Asman, us, tat, his. Patakama, sinful results. Sparseta, may touch. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Mataji, patakam. It is patakam means sinful result. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. We appointed this Veena king of this state in order to give protection to the citizens. But now he has become the enemy of the citizens. Despite all these discrepancies, we should at once try to pacify him. By doing so, we may not be touched by the sinful results caused by him. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Purport.
Hare Krishna. Archana Mataji, are you there?
Sudha Mataji, you read. She is
Yes,
not
yes,
there.
Prabhuji. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The saintly sages elected King Vena to become king, but he proved to be mischievous. Therefore, the sages were very much afraid of incurring sinful reaction. The law of karma prohibits a person even to associate with a mischievous individual. By electing Vena to the throne, the saintly sages certainly associated with him. Ultimately, King Vena became so mischievous that the saintly sages actually became afraid of becoming contaminated by his activities. Thus, before taking any action against him, the sages tried to pacify and correct him so that he might turn from his mischief. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the saintly persons, how calm and cool they are. Instantly, they are not taking any serious steps. First, they gave him a notice. This is what is explained here. He is given a notice to correct himself. There is opportunity given. That's why even in present days, always when somebody does mistake, one should not simply punish them. They should be given a chance to correct themselves. Because we are prone to mistakes, right? What do we say in these 4 defects? Always committing mistakes. So this way we have to be very careful on that. Okay. So this way it is explained, there is a chance given to King Vena to correct himself. Hare Krishna. So can we stop here? Any other points, any other questions, any other doubts?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji's or Prabhuji's. Vasudha Mataji has raised her hand, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, I just
Hare
heard it out. And the
Mataji for
verse.
Two are talking.
I muted. Yes, Mataji. Vasudha Mataji.
Mataji, for reading it was a hand raised.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Any other Mataji's or Prabhuji's? Hare Krishna. Anything to ask?
Hare Krishna. Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Mataji?
Mataji. Padma Mataji. Go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Now, when they said the law of karma prohibits a person, they want to associate with a mischievous individual. This word mischievous is in which sense, Prabhuji?
Okay.
They are referring to this Vena.
Yeah.
Otherwise, in which sense mischievous?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Very simple. See, mischievous in the sense means he is troubling others for no reason. He is doing all bad activities because he stops the sacrifice, he stops the rituals and other things. So naturally, the saint and sages actually appointed him. That means their karma will also affect them because they throned someone who is very, very dangerous to the common man, who is an atheistic person. That means the sages and saints are supporting a non-devotee. That becomes the rule, right? So automatically, the sages and saints will also incur sinful reaction because they appointed a cruel person. Clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, this I understand. Yeah. But mischievous among your friends, some that devotees who are not very, very sort of, advanced. That mischievous, I want to know.
Yeah. Among our friends, if you got someone mischievous, you have to keep away from them. Very simple.
Okay.
That's what, because, see, what does it say? Adi Shankara in his Bhajagovindam, what does he say now? Sripad Adi Shankaracharya. Satsangasya Nisangatvam Nisangatvam Nirmulatvam. In that, Dussanga brings you all bad names and bad karmas. And especially, according to Shastra, a person is weighed or checked with whom he is moving, with he is having friends. Even students know, whenever we send our children to the school, what do we advise them? Take association of good boys, right?
Yeah.
So naturally, when such things are there, we have to avoid them. That becomes the asat sangha. If you have someone who is mischievous, you have to keep away. Very simple. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Archana Mataji, you have any question, Mataji?
She is not responding. That's the problem.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Then there are no questions, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Shall we end with the session? Prayers, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anita
Wait
Mataji.
for this one, Jayapata Swami Maharaj. It is his Vyas Puja today, 76 Vyas Puja. It's happening.
Shall we chant, Prabhuji, then?
Yeah?
Shall we chant, Prabhuji, all together?
Yeah, we all have to chant twice. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We'll end with the prayers, Prabhuji. Then Vancha Kanam Bhavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Koti Vaishnavi Ki Jai. Path Mantra Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandakanam.
Thank you so much.
To all Matajis and Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Shall I end with the session? End the session, Prabhuji, with your permission. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, I
Hare-
got up a little late because I
Hare Krishna.
forgot the session altogether. Suddenly I saw the message, then I got into the seat.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare
Okay, thank you so much. Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare